Hello, my little munchkins, my little crones, and my little chickens. How are you on this fine Sunday afternoon? Well, it is so much going on in the news, period. But this is something a little special because every now and then I like to go and peekaboo over there in the church world and find out what's going on. Well, this is what's going on in the church world. And before I go on, my little munchkins, my little crones, and my little chickens, I would like to thank you always for supporting me. It really means a lot to Baby Crone and I. Now, saying that, I hope your day is copacetic, okay? Now, let's get into it. Now, one of the things that's going on is about the United Methodist Church. What's going on with the United Methodist Church is it's a big divide all over. What do you mean? They don't want the, let me see, I know this, lesbian, gay, so LGBTQ community, they divided. Some of them believe that the church is an open door. Many believe that, we've got, God is one, that it is a rainbow relation, the relationship between the church and the lesbian, gay, lesbian, gay, help me, Baby Crone.
Bi.
Lesbian, gay, bi, LGBTQ. Jesus, please don't add no more to that. It's a big schism, but the thing is, it's a big schism for all of us. It's a big schism for women. It's a big schism for men. It's a big schism for the church and for the body of believers at large. This is not a little thing that's cut off. Everybody had their way of thinking about it. This is what I think. How do you make everybody happy? How do you make the Christians happy? How do you make people happy that believe in the Bible when the Bible does speak against these things? However, the Bible speaks on love. So there we have a big contradiction. So what do? My opinion, who believes it? I'm just putting it out there. Why don't we just all have our own churches? Why don't you just do your church, have your church service your way, start your own thing? That is the only thing that I can come up with that can make everybody happy. If this church don't believe in that, then respect that church, start your own. That's what I believe. If the organization says, hey, we don't want this a part of our organization based on John 3:10, whatever, I think that you should respect that and start your own. And I don't think anything should stop you from starting your own. That's my opinion and how to solve a problem that is starting to be a problem for all of us. Now, I hope that gets corrected. On top of that, we have something in the news. Again, we have Dietrich Haddon and his wife. They were out there dancing. Now, they were out there dancing. Thank you, Baby Crone. They were out there dancing and at his birthday party, I believe. And they was doing doing the booty. And that dance where, the butt is, hey, they're married. And I don't understand it, but they were clothed. He was just doing a dance, and the Bible says, unless I misunderstand the scripture, the Bible says that the marriage bed between the husband and wife is undefiled. What that means is whatever they decide to do in or out of the bed, there's nobody's business. They were at a party, they were having a good time, they was listening to music. That's what the music is these days. So I feel as though that I don't see anything wrong with that, in my opinion. However, the Haddons, be careful who you invite to your parties. That you need to be careful who you invite. Another thing is on Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin, he came out on the stage dancing, people having a problem with him, and he was with someone else, I can't remember. But anyway, he was on the stage and they was against him. They say he's too secular. Ooh, child. I don't know what. There's a lot I can say, but I don't want to be in no controversy with anyone. And then there is the matter of Beyonce's church. They sing, I'm a survivor. But I had already told you this a year ago that Beyonce had a church, she had a mass, she make music for it. They sing and whatever they do. What do I think about that? Well, of course, I think that's outrageous. However, if that's what I'm saying, if that's what those people want to do and that brings them joy, and Beyonce don't have a problem with it, I just don't think that whoever you worship, that's your business. And I think that's where I'm standing with it. Long as it's not infringing on my rights as a human in the United States of America, and it's not bothering me, then I feel as though we are free to worship whom we choose. And until we stop throwing our religion on everybody, I think it's going to be a schism. And, the church is definitely divided. And speaking on that, my last thing is I saved this person for last, and that is Creflo Dollar. Well, in 2022, I don't know if it was in June or July, he made a confession, and he said that the prosperity ministry and tithing was not a part of the Bible. Well, I couldn't believe that Creflo Dollar said it, right? However, on one hand, I was like really happy that Creflo Dollar said that. I was like, oh my God, he said it. But then when he said he wasn't going to apologize, ooh, and then I began to think of all the jets. And I began to think of the houses and the mansions and the way they lived. And it began to sicken me. And it made me want to know this one question. Is Creflo Dollar a false teacher? Is he? Is he? He confessed. There's a part of me that has a lot to say. It's good to confess and say I was wrong. But to say I won't apologize. Yikes. After you done grown rich and fat and now you older, I have an issue with that. So I want to do a reading on Creflo Dollar. And I want to know if he is a false prophet. He almost had me though. But when he said that he wasn't going to apologize, you get on the roster, my friend, as a reading from the Crone. I wanted baby Crone to come up there, but she says I intimidate her with my readings. What do you mean? She thinks that she can't compete. I don't want baby Crone to compete. I just want baby Crone to try. So here we go. These stick together. Who is going to represent Creflo? Who we have? I'm taking it right from the top. Ooh, strength. Strength. I wonder what kind of strength is that. I wonder, oh, wait a minute. I left cards that can't go.
Oh my God, that was
I left that they can't go. I didn't even see those sitting over there. Baby Crone, you not even paying no attention to.
I'm looking at
you. Know I don't have my glasses.
Yes, surprisingly, your glasses were covering.
Their glasses are right there. The reason why I haven't been wearing my glasses is because I have to get surgery on my eyes, and it doesn't really matter. Things are still blurry. Okay, if strips show up again, then we know, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I shuffled them pretty good. Okay, I feel good about that. I feel good about this. It's strength. No, baby. Can you read it? This is the
King of Cups.
This is the King of Cups. So we know we had the what was the strength card? That's 8. So the strength card is an 8, and we have the King of Cups, which they don't really have any numbers. So this King of Cups lets me know that this is somebody I really felt like it was really a conviction that when he did come, I think that he really felt that. I felt like that was real. I felt for him to come. I think it was a hard thing for him to do, but he did it. I do commend Creflo Dollar for speaking that. It was very emotional. It was heartfelt. However, I think he just, I don't know why he did what he did, but we're going to find out. So let's find out. I'm just going to read them by threes. Is that okay?
Okay.
I'm going to first, I want to know, is he Is he sorrowful? I know when he said it, he meant it. But when he said that he wasn't going to apologize, that bothered me. He done made a lot of money. He done made a lot of money. Oh my God. He done made a lot of money in this.
Oh my gosh.
So I said I was going to run them by threes. So what was the question that I just asked? Remind me of the questions that I had.
Is he sorrowful?
Is he sorrowful? Well, the card says that, yes, he is sorrowful. He doesn't know how to pay back. He has taken so much, he doesn't even know how. How do you pay back? How do you? But he knew that when he spoke the truth, he felt like that's how he'll pay back. When he spoke the truth, he knew that it would really hurt his ministry. He knew that it would be a long, treacherous road. He knew that it would cause a great falling away. He knew it, but he had to be true to himself. He had to be true to himself. And I'm just reading the cards about this. So this is a material thing. And he ate and got rich off of it. But he did feel convicted. He did feel convicted. And the only way, how do you pay back millions of dollars? How do you pay back hundreds of millions? No, you can't. So the only thing you can do is tell the truth. And let the truth. And when he said, all the books that I have wrote and just tossed them out, at that point, I would have felt like you owe me money for these books. Like, I don't know, but nevertheless, I just felt like when he didn't want to apologize, that's what it left me with. But nevertheless, I do feel that there was some sense of regret, humiliation, and yet regret and humiliation, but he did what he did. Like, it's like I'm not going to apologize, because the truth is the truth. And I was walking in darkness. Like, far as I took it, it's like I wasn't walking in darkness myself. So this has really hurt the church, but it is the truth that sets you free. Okay? So what was the next question?
We didn't think of a next question.
Okay. So anyway, what was this? Help me with that.
Was he sorrowful?
Was he sorrowful? And, oh, Jesus. There we go. There we go. See? I wanted to know, excuse me. It's like these cards are saying, but, did I get them all
Yes,
up?
you did.
Oh, thank you, baby. But what I want to know, is he a false prophet? Is he a false prophet? Is he a false teacher? In spite of it all, would you consider him as a false teacher? Should people just up, jump, and leave his church? We have justice. Oh my God. Temperance. And we have this. So we got to look at this, how these cards are coming out. So we have justice. So we know when we have justice, that is that 11. So we know that there's a gateway, that there's a door. So justice always wants to be fair. So temperance have to balance between earth and air and water. It has to balance the elements. And at the end, it's saying a celebration. So once you know the truth, and if you know, this is what the cards are saying to me. Once you know the truth, and you know the truth, and you have weighed it, you have weighed this, you have weighed the ministry, you have weighed the truth. It is your responsibility to study. It's only then can you make a qualified decision and be free from it. It is not anything that anybody else could tell you what to do. You could say, I believe it was a mistake, and I could believe that he didn't mean it. You could take that route if you want to and say he came true more than what other people would have done. But we'll see. And last, did he pay a high cost for this? Did he pay a real high cost? So when you have the Son, it freed his soul. There was a part of him that freed his soul. He must have was Creflo Dollar was getting sick for a while, and this probably was eating at him. That taking that money, eating at him. But when he came through, that was something he was compelled to do. He didn't do it out of the goodness of his heart. He did it. He was being hard about it. He didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want to face it. He didn't want to do it at all. He held his emotions. Here is the night of emotions. He held his emotions. He did not want to go in those treacherous lanes. He was humiliated. He had gone through enough. His name had already been out there. But because of the goodness in his heart, because I truly believe that there is goodness in this man's heart, because of that goodness that is in his heart, it's what set him free. And I think that he is ready to take, whatever responsibility that is. Baby Crone, you have questions?
Yes, my question is, what does this mean for his church?
Oh, yes, that's a good question. What does this mean for his church? We have the chariot. Again, another celebration card. And victory. So what I'm getting from it is, yes, many will fall away. Many will, but many will stay. Because many do respect the fact that he came true and he said it. Many do. Many do understand it. And that I definitely see a victory in this. Yes, I do perceive that there are people that are stuck and that did leave and said, I want no parts of this, and left. And then there are those, the chariot, it's like it's standing still. It went through a rocky point, but it was humiliating, but all at the same time it was freeing. So it was like he had braced himself for whatever way this was going. He had made his peace with it. I hear my soul saying, he said something like it was a good run. But once I knew the truth, he said that was the truth that set him free. And those people in church are free. And no longer do they have to pay tithes. It was wrong. The question I have is, how many wrong teachings do the church teach today? This is just one doctrine. Are there many other doctrines that he teach that are wrong? Here's a child. Here's a magician. And here's Pentacles. So what does tell me as a child that's not really looking in your face, that's just doing the best they can? It's like they had child knowledge. Like they didn't have the full knowledge. That's what was out there in the world. That was back in, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago. This prosperity message, that's what was out there. People were getting on top of their feet with it, believing it. Believing all of it. It was like magic. It was a magical time. And everybody that was in the church on this planet, in this country, was caught up in it if he was in any religion. It was new. It was out there. It was name it and claim it, grab it and blab it. It was out there, So we're all was swept up in this. But when you know the truth, then it's time to be free. And I think no more tricks. So what is it saying? Yes, there could be other things that are taught out there that they have no idea, especially when you have a child teaching it. This is just one doctrine. But are there others? Most definitely. But here little and there little. And what I see in this cards, I truly believe that I was ready to come in and I was ready to go poop, 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 poop on him. But the cards are saying no mercy. Because even though I didn't agree with the fact that he didn't say, I apologize. I guess how do you? Sometimes you just got to just acknowledge it and say, just throw the books in the trash. I would have said, look, if you can show any books you bought from me, I will give you $100 or something, $50 for every book. But I would have not just said that. I would have offered them something, but nevertheless, that is me. And that's what I'm saying. The people that will stay there and understand and will be grateful. And maybe this will open up their minds for a better understanding of Scripture. You have another question?
My question is, will this help his teaching improve? Like, will he start searching deeper for the answers in the scriptures?
Okay. That was a lot. So will he, at this point, after last year, has this improved his ministry? Have he became better? Have he reached for deeper meaning? Have he moved for deeper meaning? Has Creflo Dollar moved for deeper meanings in his ministry? Has he changed any? Speak the truth. He took a psychic blow. Woo! What was the question?
Has he changed from this event?
Oh my goodness, okay. See, what I'm saying about cars, you see, nothing comes out negative. It has been a fight. It has been a fight. What was your question?
Has he changed from this truth?
Yes. This has been a psychic blow. This has been a battle. This has been something. This is just negative. This is a psychic blow. This has changed the way he thinks. Everything he has sat up at night and wondered and questioned. Guilt. This remind me of I can't think of his name right now, but he was a minister that had the same thing. He had a mega church, Carlton Pierce. This is what this remind me of in a sense, to come true, because when you know the truth, you have to tell the truth. If not, you are tormented. He was tormented when he wasn't doing it. When he didn't tell the truth, he was tormented. And when you tell the truth, you're tormented. But you know what? There's a piece of freedom in it all. So yes. No, did he change? Yes. Yes. He feel like I won a battle, but at a high cost. But there is a part of, you see this 9 that's saying, yep, I'm down at the bottom. There ain't nowhere else I can go but up at this point. Because that's the end of a cycle. And he knows he got a lot to prove, but is his mind more open to things? I want to know, is his mind more open? Is Creflo Dollar mind more open to challenge scriptures than before? I don't want to do anything. I want to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is his mind more open to accept new things than before? You got fire, so that's a positive. Walking in the dark, and last, new beginnings. What was my question, baby Crone?
Is he open to new
Absolutely. Because you know fire is about a spark. Fire is that spirit. Fire is that energy that moves, that want to know. Fire purifies. He wants the truth. He's seeking truth. And here you see, there is hope, but it's like you got to burn out all the negative. And there's a lot going on with him. There's still darkness inside of him. There's still things inside of him he's questioning. Things inside of himself he is challenging at this day. Is his church still going strong? Is his church still going strong? I didn't look at anything. Somebody told me to do a reading on them, and I want to know, is his church going strong? Is his church the Hierophant? Yep, he still has his church. Weary, it's heavy, it's going through some changes. And it's still that emotional cup, that's still that night, that emotional, but that his church is his love. That church is like family to them. That church is everything. And he's trusting in God like never before. And yes, he is very emotional, again, very emotional. But he's ready for the change, yes.
Yes, because his personality card to represent him was the King of Cups.
Really?
Yes.
Say something.
So it's interesting when you asked about his church that the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups came out.
Yeah, and the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, all of these are emotional feelings of a person. They're like emotional, and these are like the King of Cups, and the knight works under the king. So I don't see it as separate. I see it as all of these are his emotions that he's feeling, that he sends people like, yeah, it's like he got many workers, he have lost workers. This has been a trying time. And when you look at it, when you see that you have dumped thousands of money, you have spent your fortune in a church, you let your children sacrifice, and you found out for years, many people have died believing this, you see, and they was under this false doctrine. You know, what do I feel it like that? Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. The fact is, we can only be judged on what we know. And those people that's gone on, they died in the faith, paying their taxes, paying their tithes, that's what it's like, paying their tithes. They went on in faith believing. So what will become of them? They will be delivered because they believed. They believed. And yet, all of it is not true, and it has duped the church, and there are so many other doctrines, and that's why we still have in the church with the gay, lesbian, bi, trans, and queer. Is that it?
Yes.
That's why we having it. Where does all of this fit? It fits when the men of God and the women of God come together and start being one, where there's one truth, there's one gospel, and those that don't want to be a part of it, they have their own. But we'll never have that unity, not today. We're still going through a shaking up in the world. So with that being said, I just felt like he has gone through a lot with this. I feel like he has struggled. I feel like it's like a loss for him. Yes.
I want to ask a question outside of Creflo.
Okay. Is it a reading question?
Yes, it is a reading question.
Okay.
It's still on the topic of the church.
Okay.
In general.
Okay.
There is so much going on with the church.
Okay.
With trying to change the message, exposing the truth.
Yeah.
I want to know, can the cards give me a reason on what's going on in the church?
Well, baby, you already know what's going on in the church.
In his church?
No, this is going on in the church. He just admit a doctrine, the tithing doctrine. He said it's false. You don't have to bring, your stuff into the warehouse. First of all, we don't even have warehouses here. Second of all, that money was for the priests. It's a whole lot of teachings that the church didn't know about, right? So now that the church is aware, because ministers are opening up, people leaving the church and telling people the truth and opening up things about the church. So what was your question?
What is the change going on in the church?
The whole structure of its beliefs. Should homosexuals, bisexuals, transsexuals, lesbians, and queers, should they be a part of the church? These are this is all of this. What are the doctrines in baptism? What is the doctrine when it comes to communion? These are so many doctrines. What is the doctrines when it comes to baptism? There are so many doctrines that the church really needs to reevaluate. We're living in a different age, and we're living in a different time. And I'll say this. Do you have another question?
No, I do not.
I'll say this in my conclusion. You can't have all this technology. You can't have G5, G6, G10. You can't have all of this technology. You can't have all these gateways open to knowledge. And then you think you're going to keep people stuck in a primitive way of thinking. It'll never work. So you're going to be a divide as people make out, because each individual have to decide where they want to be. Each individual have to decide what is truth to them. Where some people like to be corporate, some people like to be a part of a big community. Some people don't. Some people like to worship alone. Whatever your choice is, it's going to be up to the individual. But at the question, should you give up your faith? My answer is no. We all need something to believe in. And the greatest thing to believe in is to believe in yourself. That's what I believe. Now, what was your question, baby Crone?
What is the change happening in the church?
I can't tell you what the change is, but I can tell you that there is a major change. The church has been very selfish. The church has been selfish about a lot of things. A lot of things the church had known for a long time. But they had milked a lot of this. This is what this card is saying. This is for the overall church. The church knew a lot. And one of the things about the church, when I found out, when the Bible said, this is what I was told, the Bible said that Jesus descended into hell. That is not even scriptural. That's a part of the catechism from the Catholic. I searched the scriptures over. There was nowhere where it said Jesus descended into hell. Right there, that's a lie. And yet we bank our whole life on hell. We consider. They have got, like I said, there's a lot of doctrines that we have been swept up, that our mama and our mama and our papa done told us from generations. And we believed it. And many of us slept in faith, believing, struggling, and suffering. So yeah, the church has kept a lie. The church has lied. And the church has been definitely greedy. And now, no matter what the church, it may try to go forward, but it can't because it's got its back towards us. We see you. You can't hide. You got to deal with some things. What was the question?
What is the change happening?
And the change is, it's not even about, it's the church. The church is the people. And it's like we're not going to take anything. You're not going to fool us and give us anything and think we're going to take it. We want the truth. We want to know the truth. And this is why, that's why there's a massive falling away, because the church is full of pomp and circumstance, good music, songs, singing inspirationals, but songs that's not scriptural. The church is a hotbed of lies. And it's time for it to be revealed. Very emotional time. Very emotional. And it's time to come clean. It's time. And a lot of churches are going to go under because they count on these tithes and offerings. But it's a lie. So what all these churches are losing a lot. And those that will stay will stay. And now you know a false prophet, someone that teaches lies, someone that teaches something that's against the truth. However, how will you know if you don't study? And if you're studying, a lot of times you go to your church Bible study, they're going to teach you their doctrine. You have to go and study on your own. Go get books on commentary books on different teachers, not just what your teacher thinks. The one thing that helped me was I went and learned the Jewishness of the Bible, and that's what saved me. So that's what I give to you. Just go and study it from the Jewish point of view or from the Messianic point of view. That's going to give you a very good viewpoint, and you can still hold on to your faith all at the same time. Well, that's what I feel about Creflo Dollar. I feel as though that redemption, I feel as though he has, I'm going to say it, I feel as though he has redeemed himself. Does that make him a perfect man? No. He got skeletons in his closet, but it's whipping him. And he is changing himself because it takes a lot to be able to come and say what I said is not true. And for that, I give him respect for that. I don't know what he's doing after that, because he was someone that I did follow, but I did turn away from the prosperity message many years ago. So I was never a part. I was a part of it. I was swept up in it, crying, trying to give the church my money, just because that's how they had it, because I was wanting a blessing, but I got delivered from that years ago. So for all of you out there, please seek the truth for yourself. That's my reading on Creflo Dollar. And as far as the church, it's going through a shuffling and a shaking on so many levels. It's up to you the people to decide what it is that you want and who you want to worship and how you want to worship. That's for every individual out there. Well, I hope you enjoyed my reading. I know I did. I learned a lot. And please, Baby Crone, help me.
Okay. My little
sunflowers. Okay, there it is. Thank you, my little sunflowers, for joining us. It really, really means a lot to Baby Crone and I. Sunflowers.